What's up, guys? Bloodshed here. I hope you're having a great season 19. I hope you're getting all the progress and all the drops that you need. I wanted to take a few minutes here and answer some of the most burning questions I've been getting on stream, mainly around Barbarian and Crusader. I am going to have links to all the builds we talk about in the description, group builds for Barb and Satyr, solo push builds, speed builds, all that stuff. Tons and tons of questions, so let's jump into it. Number one question is, yo Blood, why do I run out of resource? If you're using the BK weapons, you don't run out of resource. They generate tons of fury, and you basically can hold down Whirlwind the entire time and spin forever. If you're using the Slander Little Rogue or the Istifan set, you do run out of resource in between packs. So just make sure you DPS the elites, and you can tap it in between. So let me show you, like if this is your Barb, you can just tap it once to keep up your 4-piece bonus for damage reduction. It lasts for 3 seconds. So you can just kind of tap it between and you'll be good to go. But the main reason why we can even use this set is because of the lightning rune. It does generate fury every time you hit. So you basically have infinite fury. You don't have to stack RCR, reduce cost resource anywhere. Just use the lightning rune and make sure you're not DPSing nothing. You have to pay attention a little bit because if there's a waller or something and you're kind of stuck, or yeah, you have to pay attention a little bit, but just hit the mobs, and when you're not hitting the mobs, you can just tap it between packs. You'll get used to it. The muscle memory will kick in. The other question I get is Captain Crimson set really good? Let me show you what it looks like just in case you're wondering. It's been a really popular question. Okay, so they changed the Captain Crimson set recently, and this is really good for early game, but at the end of the game, the number one clear won't be Captain. It's just really good. Like it's hard to get those cooldown break points late game. It's the resource makes it easier, so if you're not using the BK weapons, you have more resource there. It also makes you tankier, gives you a little bit of damage. It's really good for early game pushing, but it's not good enough. I wouldn't use it, but if you do want like an early boost to your stats, then you know it's kind of like you can use this until you take the training wheels off, and then later on you can go to the normal build. Early game is completely different than late game. Throughout the seasons, you'll see like Shadow DH crushing it early. And then like, you know, like I think multi-shot ended higher than Shadow last season. And then rapid fire, once people gear out, will be better as well. So the number one demon hunter right now is the Shadow DH, right? Of course, because it's just easier to gear out and you get going right away. But later on, you'll see Lawn rapid fire take the cake. So the early game doesn't always represent late game, but it's a good option to get you that early boost in power. A lot of people have been asking about Barbarian Weapons, because there is a lot of different options. Okay, so to me, the best weapon set is going to be the Istifan set for groups and solo push. For group play, it's different than solo push, so make sure you look at each build individually, and like, you know, what's better for a group might not be the same for solo. But let me scroll down to my group build here. So I like the Slender Little Rogue because early game, it's easier to hit those CDR breakpoints. You can get cooldown on each weapon, but you could use ambos in like the Sunkeeper, or ambos and Echoing Fury, or ambos and whatever, and then put a furnace in the cube. Like you could hold ambos and do that. Like the damage isn't like that much worse. It's just the most optimal combo is Slender Little Rogue, but you could have almost the same effectiveness with other combos. I like holding the furnace sometimes and putting ambos in the cube. We ran the numbers and everything. It's about the same DPS. Slender Little Rogue versus holding the furnace. The scaling of rend is higher with the furnace, and it makes up for the extra stats. But again, it's just the ease of use with dual wielding. You just can stack more stats on it. So yeah, there's a lot of different combos, and especially for group play, there's a lot of freedom there. Yo, Blood, how much cooldown do you need? Well, in all my guides, it should say right here around 55% cooldown reduction. With the Zodiac ring, and you should be okay. So like with that, you should have Wrath of Berserker up full time. Some people do use the Boonable Kathos rune. I use it in group play, but it's not really needed. You should be okay without it, but it does again make it easier to go and to get your cooldowns back. So another question is, yo Blood, yo Blood, why do you have Rend on your bar? Like, don't you get it for free with Ambo's forehead? What are you doing, man? So if you have Rend on your bar, then you get to select the rune that you use. So if you don't have it on your bar and you're whirlwinding, it'll just give you the default rune. But if you have it on your bar, then it'll pull the selected rune and you can get more DPS that way or more utility depending on what you use. So again, group builds are different than solo builds, even speed builds or bounty builds. All 4 different aspects of the game are going to be different. I don't use Rend on my bar for like T16 and low level speeds, but for like anything past like GR80, I would definitely use it. You're just one-shotting anyway, but after 80, it might take a split second to do DPS. So yeah, I like Bloodbath basically for anything past 80 or 90, and then like when I'm just doing T16, I don't even have it on my bar because Barb just deletes everything anyway. It's just useless, right? You can just pick up something like Sprint and get more utility out of it. I have been using Zays yesterday, and everyone's like, what the heck are you using Zays in this freaking whirlwind group build? So someone in my chat told me Rob's a streamer, you know, shout out to Rob and the ZE boy. Someone said, yo, Blood, Rob's using Zays. Is that a good option? And I was like, that sounds like a good idea, actually. So it takes 1 second for you to do damage with Zays. So I don't know the most optimal way to use it, but I did notice a spike in our group production. So Zays does damage the farther you away from the target. So we will DPS them and then charge away to the next pack, DPS them and charge away. Or like you just go kind of pull away. So you have a second to get away. Barb's pretty fast, right? As you know. And then with the Z bar boosting our movement speed, we're kind of flying around the map. I'm kind of just like pulling, DPSing through them to the left, to the right. And sometimes I'll like charge away. It feels really fluid and it adds another level of complexity to Z Barb or to Whirlwind Barb that wasn't there, and it's really fun. So I definitely recommend trying it in a group setting. Just remember, group and solo and T16 are different. So like if I'm in a group, I can go all red gems in my gear right here. I can go all DPS in Paragon because you have a support keeping you alive. You know, you can do things that you wouldn't normally do. You can use Squirt's necklace. Only use Squirts if you have a Z-Monk in the group. So Z-Monks provide shields, and the shields block the damage, and then you can do like up to 100% extra damage with Squirt's necklace. But if you just have like a Z-Barb, then it's not going to really give you shields, so then you might go to Flavor at a time. So there's a lot of different setups depending on what's happening. Like I wouldn't go Teguk, Trapped, and Zay Stone of Vengeance if I didn't have an RGK in the group. So if you have like a Flurry Monk, a Tempest Rush Monk blowing up the Rift Guardian, then you don't need Stricken, right? Because that's what they're doing. So it just kind of depends on the situation. Just kind of be a little flexible, and now hopefully you have some of the tools to be the best Barb you can be. Another thing you can do if you're pushing early and you're struggling and you don't have the Captain set or you don't want to use the Captain set, you can switch Mantle of Channeling to Aquila Cuirass. That'll give you an extra 25% damage reduction. So that's good there. And no matter what rune you pick, you're always going to put physical on your bracers because our damage comes from Rend, right? That's like the #1 thing. So no matter what whirlwind rune you use, it doesn't matter the element, you're always stacking physical. That's where all your damage comes from. That's why we're not using Skullgrass for any whirlwind abilities. We're not putting whirlwind on our gear, anything like that. Just roll whirlwind to vitality. It's going to be more important to keep you alive. I guess Barb was longer than I thought. Let's jump on Crusader here, and then I'll talk about a few things that I've been getting on stream. It's mostly rotation questions. The #1 question for Crusader is, yo, Blood, how much cooldown do you need? And I like to go be around 60% cooldown with Crusader. It's super important for Barb and Satyr. You want to keep up your cooldowns. You need like Iron Skin up all the time. You need Laws of Valor. You need Akarat's Champion up all the time. You need Judgment up all the time. And again, in a group setting, you can go all red gems. When you're solo, you're probably going to use diamonds for that extra toughness. Blood, why are you using a pig sticker? Man, this is a Crusader, okay? Well, you can transmog the pig sticker to look more Satyr-like or some kind of Valkyrie. All right, guys? But the pig sticker has extra stats. It's the fastest weapon in the game, or all daggers are, right? So it's super fast. You can get tons of stats on it. This one's not actually the best, but it works. We did a 118 within like 15 hours of the season going live, something like that. Or the first 24 hours on the stream, we did a 118 with this build. I haven't even pushed since then because we've been doing groups and stuff like that. It's really, really strong. You're attacking fast. You're dropping Heaven's Furies, just bang, bang, bang. And it's a really good option. Late game, people might switch to two-handed weapons or something like that. But I'm going to use Pick Sticker for a while to like maybe GR 130 or so. It's really good. In a group setting, again, you can use Squirt's Necklace. They're blocking, the Z-Monk is giving you shields to block the damage. If you were doing casual, you can drop Squirts and use Flavor of Time, just like with Barb. You can drop Iron Skin and use Pony if you're in a faster group setting. I'm going to tweak the speed build with this. We're going to do some more testing on stream today. But yeah, I'll just add to the description for different situations. Rotation. Okay, the rotation is important. You want a DPS on Holy Convention of Elements cycle. Holy is after Fire cycle. Okay, so when you see Fire cycle come up right now on screen, you see a little fire? You have 4 seconds for Holy to come up, and that's when you got a DPS. That's your main concern. There's some times where there's a lot of mobs on screen, and the more Fist of Heavens you have out, the more resource you're getting back. So you're actually have almost infinite resource when there's tons of mobs. And when there's like a Rift Guardian, then you don't have that much resource because you don't have a lot of things to tap off of. Kind of like Witch Doctor can tap resource with like Haunt returns mana or something like that. So if it's a single target fight, you're focusing after fire, boom, Holy is when you're doing your DPS. Okay, so how do we prepare during Fire cycle for Holy cycle? Well, right before Holy cycle, I like to activate Iron Skin, Laws of Valor. Obviously, you want to have Akrats up full time, right? So these are your 3 buffs that you want to have during like maybe halfway through Fire cycle. Okay, and then right before Holy cycle hits, I drop Deliberation. That's gonna proc your bracers here, Bracers of Fury. People are like, why do you have Reaper's Wraps? Because for groups, I like the extra resource, right? But for solo pushing, you can't really fit it. But for groups, it works out great. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you have your 3 stack. That's really important. You need your 3 stack of the Valor set to even do that multiplicative damage, right? So attacking with Fist of Heavens empowers you, allowing Heaven's Fury to do 100% increased damage for 5 seconds, stacks 3 times. So you should, before you even get there, you should always have a 3 stack up. That goes without saying. And then right before Holy cycle, you go bang, bang, bang. You drop everything down. And then you're going to hold down Heaven's Fury like that, okay? Doing damage. You want to be right up on the mob. Like if Tyrael's the mob here, right? Holy cycle's coming. I'm popping my cooldowns. I'm dropping Judgment on Tyrael. I'm judging you, Tyrael, right? And then I'm holding down Heaven's Fury. If you tap Force Move, you can put Force Move on your mouse wheel. You can put Force Move on a button. If you tap Force Move, it does give you more attacks per second. Let me just kind of show you what it looks like. So you drop on Tyrael, you pop your cooldowns, you hold it, and then you can see me rolling mouse wheel, or you can tap a button and it's faster. So it's a little extra try hard step you can do, but you can increase your DPS. You know, Bloodshed, why is it so important? You know, like, but you do most of your damage in that holy window, like it's a holy spell. So if you can get a few more attacks in during that window, you're just gonna be doing that much more DPS. So it's really important just to tap it. But even if you're lazy and you just hold it down, I did a 110 just holding it down on the PTR. So you don't need to, that's just an extra tip and trick there. Again, the builds will be in the description. This video went way longer than I thought it would go. I guess there is a lot of questions I get on stream. Hopefully this kind of video helps you. I'm gonna try to get on here soon. I gotta do some Paragon grinding, hang out with my group. So ask me questions live. We'll check this video, and anything I don't answer, I'll go back and answer. So just comment in the video if you have any questions. We've been getting tons of patrons, so I want to take a few seconds to thank them. If anybody's taking time out of their day, I appreciate it, man. You guys are really above and beyond lately. Matt, thank you so much. Zachary, Havard, I see you guys, man. Brian, Daniel W, JB Lamp, Alexander, Ethan, Creative, and Iron Cashew. But thank you guys so very much for taking the time to support what we do here on the stream and on the YouTube videos and all that stuff. Welcome to the Patron Club, man. Appreciate that. If I didn't get your patron tag in Discord, I'm sorry. I just been so busy and with the season and everything like that. Things should calm down and I can go back and get you guys if I missed you. That's going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Bloodshed and I'm out of here. Peace.